Well, 2025 was not really the season that the Kansas City Royals had wanted. It was a little bit of a weird season for them. Let's take a look at the Royals' last 5 seasons. Obviously, 2024, they obviously made the playoffs, were able to beat the Orioles, and then lose to the Yankees in the ALDS. That was probably one of their best seasons in the last couple of years. Obviously, 2015, they were able to win the World Series, but besides from that, they haven't been in the playoffs since 2024, so that was definitely a solid season for them. And then in 2025, you go 82-80. Unfortunately, you needed about 87 wins to make the postseason last year in the American League. And going into 2026, the team has signed a couple of players, but haven't made any drastic moves yet, and I think are still waiting for some of their rookies to get called up through the pipeline. Let's take a look at their contract situation, because there hasn't really much has changed here. Obviously, Bobby Witt Jr. is still on that massive extension he got in 2024. That goes all the way to 2037, which I'm pretty sure is the longest, almost guaranteed contract we've seen. The one new one I think was the Garcia one extension is now in here. Obviously, he signed that in 2025 or 2026, so whenever he signed that, he'll be on the team till 2030 with the team option in 2031. Obviously, Michael Walker renewed his deal in 2025, so he's got 2 more seasons left with this Royals team and the team option. Same with Carlos Estevez. This could be his last season with the team if that team option doesn't get extended in 27. Obviously, Cole Reagans renewed his deal as well. He'll be on this team for 3 more seasons before he's a free agent. And then the 2 new players that they did sign was Lane Thomas for 1 year, $5.25 million. Honestly, a really good signing in my opinion. I think he's a pretty underrated player. And then Alex Lange was signed on a 1-year deal in 2026, and then he's got 2 more years of arbitration before being a free agent in 2029. Now, on Baseball Reference, it has Salvador Perez, Seth Lugo, and Matt Strahm on the free agent list, but that's not true at all. If we actually go over to Sport Tech right here, we can see Seth Lugo is not a free agent until 2029, making $23 million this season. And then Salvador Perez isn't a free agent until 2028, and he's making $6.5 million this season. And if we take a look how much money they've committed on Baseball Reference, it has $97.4 million. If we add in those 3 other contracts that said they were free agents, it's actually $134.4 million committed to the team in 2026. So that's where it stands right now. If we take a look at what they spent in 2025, it was $153 million, that bringing them number 20th in the MLB. So they're pretty close. They're about, 15 mil off from where they were in 2025. So once again, if they sign a new free agent or something like that happens, then they can definitely reach the same amount of mark. But it's going to be very similar to what it was in 2025. So let's take a look at the Royals' active roster coming into the 2026 season. Obviously, only 2 new free agents to the team, so it's going to be pretty similar to last season. Obviously, let's start with this rotation with Seth Lugo and Michael Walker obviously being the 1-2 punch. Obviously, Chris Bubeck and Cole Reagans are still here. Those guys are extremely underrated in my personal opinion, because they both have had really good months in the past and have really good seasons. So I'm excited to see what they bring in 2026. So overall, pretty solid rotation for the most part. Obviously, they got to get 5 guys in here somehow, but we'll kind of wait to see what their final rotation is. But I do like this rotation. I think it's pretty good. And then moving over on to the bullpen, this bullpen's obviously pretty solid. I think Matt Strum's a really good addition to the bullpen. Obviously, with Lucas Urge and Carlos Estevez, all really good pieces. They definitely made a pretty solid upgrade in that remark, and this bullpen does look pretty good moving into the season. Now let's go over to the starting 9. Coming in at the catcher position, obviously Salvador Perez should be starting that position. At first base is going to be Vinny Pasquantino. Obviously, second base is going to be Jonathan India. Third base is going to be Miguel Garcia. And then shortstop, obviously going to be Bobby Witt Jr. And then moving over onto this outfield, there's a ton of different options you could choose in this outfield. I would personally go with Tyler Tolbert, then probably Lane Thomas in center field, even though he could play one of the corners. And then maybe you have Jack Caglione play right field. I think that would be a pretty solid start. And then at the DH position, like I said, you could put anyone. You could put Cags there. You could put a lot of different players there. And obviously, these teams use so many lineups once again, so everything could change. But that's personally what I would probably have on opening day for this team. Speaking about those prospects, let's take a look at the Royals top 100. They actually have 2 players in the top 100 coming into this season. Coming at number 39 is going to be Carter Jansen. Now, he was obviously drafted in 2021 in the 3rd round, and he actually played very solid in 2025, and he did play at the major league level as well, which is pretty impressive. If we start with his minor league stats, I mean, he batted .290 across 111 games, so very impressive, and also played good at the AAA and the AA levels, so that's very impressive. And take a look at his MLB stats, obviously very solid. 20 games he played, he got 18 hits, batting at .300, very solid. He got 6 doubles, 3 home runs, and 13 RBIs at the major league level. We definitely got some talent here, and definitely excited to see how he plays moving forward. Maybe they move Salvador Perez to DH. We'll kind of see what happens with that catcher position. It's the same thing with Jack Caglione. You just kind of got to decide where he's going to play. But like I said, he could definitely be a solid piece moving forward. And if Perez DHs, he could definitely step up in that catching position, or he could DH or something like that. Definitely could be a solid option. And then coming at number 62 is going to be Blake Mitchell. Now, he was drafted in 2023 in the 1st round by the Royals at pick number 8. And he had a lot of time to develop. This is obviously going to be his 4th league in the minor leagues as well. And he played at rookie ball and high A in 2025. Didn't really bat the best at the high level and in rookie ball, he batted pretty solid. 286 in rookie ball, obviously very good in 11 games played. And then he played 49 with that high A team. Looks like he might have got injured throughout this season, so maybe that's why his games have been really short. But just looking at his minor league career so far, it really hasn't been great, to be honest. I mean, it just hasn't been good. I mean, he's been at 223 over 184 games played, and he hasn't even been to AA yet. So obviously not a great start to his career, but his DTA is 2027. Like, that's kind of unlikely unless he can turn around after coming back from injury. We'll kind of wait to see what happens with Blake Mitchell, also another catcher they could use as well. Also could be a nice trade bait, but we'll kind of see what happens with him. So those are the two players the Royals have in their top 100. Pretty solid for the most part. Now going over to my 2026 prediction for the Kansas City Royals, I feel like it's going to be very hard for this team to compete with the Guardians and the Tigers in their division. And then obviously if they're going in the wild card, it's going to be the rest of the American League, which is very good. You know, with the AL East teams being good, obviously we got a couple of teams in the AL West being good. So going to be very hard for them to try to fight into a postseason spot. But we kind of just got to wait to see how they do. They didn't really make crazy additions so far with this offseason, but you never know if they go out and sign one of the other free agents on the market, because they can definitely take advantage when it comes closer and closer to spring training, and a lot of these guys want to sign. So we'll kind of just wait to see what the Royals have, but my personal opinion, I don't think they're going to make the postseason. They were close last year. Maybe they can be close again this year, but it's just going to be very hard for me to put them over some of the teams in the American League, because there was definitely a strong 7 last year, and the Royals were like the 8th or 9th best team, at least in the American League. So going to be hard for me to put them in the postseason. I think if they play their best, you know, they definitely got a shot, but it's going to be very hard for this team, especially with a lot of the better teams in the American League. But that's kind of my thoughts on this Royals team. Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you guys think about this Royals team? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know your guys' thoughts. And make sure you guys check out all the socials down below in the description. I'm on X for all of our updates, Instagram for all of our clips. If you want to talk more about any of this stuff, make sure you guys join the Discord. And then check out the merch, man. We're going to have some new designs dropping in 2026, which is going to be very exciting. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.